Hello, listeners. Welcome to another episode of Romance Unraveled. This is your host, Jacob Bozen.
And I'm your co host, Savannah Van Orden. And I'm actually so excited because we actually have my twin on here today to kind of dig a little deeper from her perspective on my marriage. So go ahead, Lex.
So my name's Lexi Cotino. I currently work as an executive director out in Clinton, Utah, running an assisted living facility. So same as Vanna and same as my older brother. I've been married for almost a year and a half to my husband Jordan, and we just barely bought a townhouse out in Syracuse, Utah.
So, just for the listeners, for this episode, if you have not listened to Savannah's episode, I think it might have been 4 or 5 episodes ago. If you have not, you should take a listen to that episode first. Otherwise, this episode will not make sense. And then, so what this will be is Lexi is going to tell her perspective of Savannah's disastrous marriage that she had. So I guess let's just get right into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should just start, like Vanna said, from when they got married. So I don't know how much people know, but before Savannah was getting married, I think it was a couple days before they were getting married, she's like, "We're not actually getting married. He's called off the wedding." So all of us were like, "What do you mean he's called off the wedding? Like, this is kind of crazy, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, he called off the wedding. He doesn't want to be married." Well, my family's freaking out. We're like, "We've bought all this stuff. Like, we need to set up. Like, we need to figure out what's going on." I think it was maybe 30 minutes later. He's like, "Oh, no, the wedding's back on." And we're like, "What the heck is happening? Like, this is so bizarre." So the wedding happened, and and maybe she can tell a little different from how I saw it, but she was super off and super quiet. I remember going into shed to get her changed into a different dress. I'm like, "How do you feel?" And she's like, "I'm fine." And I'm like, "Okay, you just got married. I think you should be a little better than fine." So I think that was like the first big red flag for me is one, you are getting married the day before and he says he doesn't want to be married. She gets married, she's in there and she's just fine. I was like, for me, I was so happy to be married. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like this is so great. Like I'm so excited." And hers was just fine. Um, After that, it was kind of just little subtle things. Like Savannah wanted to be a physical therapist. She wanted to work with children. And then all of a sudden, her degree started to change into what he wanted to do. And I remember having conversations with her and being like, "This is not what you want to do. Like, I've grown up with you. I know who you are. I know who you are as a person. And this is not anything you've ever said you'd ever be interested in." And I said, "You need to be your own person. Like, find out who you are. Like, find out what you want to do."
And what was that? What did he want her to do?
It was like nursing, then it was piloting school. Just some like, oh, and then a neurosurgeon. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like you do not like the sight of blood or anything. What do you mean you're going to be a neurosurgeon?" Like that
Savannah,
does
the
not make
pilot
any
doctor.
sense. Yes, I'm like anything that's just like a job that's high paying money, that's exactly what he wanted her to do. And I'm like, she doesn't even enjoy any of that. But okay, whatever. I don't know anything, I guess.
Well, like the crazy thing is, sorry, Lex, is like I remember this and it's kind of like shocking for me to hear this again because like these are things like I've just completely forgot about or like blocked out. But like yeah, I remember it was you need to go to nursing school. And so then like Lexi said, I went to nursing school and then like I was like halfway through and I was like so sick to my stomach. Like I remember like calling Lexi just sobbing my eyes out because I was like, this is what he wants me to do. Like am not well. Like I don't feel good about this. And then I was like, but I still want to do something in the medical career. And then Phil was like, oh yeah, like this is a good opportunity for you to do neurosurgeon because he wanted to be an anesthesiologist. And I was like, oh yeah, like we could work together. And then that was just like Lexi said, I hate the sight of blood. I hate needles. I hate all of that. So it's just so funny that you remember these things because these are things that I've completely forgot about.
That's so sad.
Yeah, she's traumatized. She's blocked this out. And then I think another thing is one thing that me and my whole family thought was super strange was whatever job he was doing, she had to be doing as well, or whatever job she was doing, he had to be doing it as well. I think they were married for 4 years, and I don't think there was one job that they didn't have that they didn't do it together. And all of us were like, dude, separate yourselves. Like, you guys are married. You don't need to be with each other 24/7. But I think that also came in from his perspective of always trying to keep an eye on her and like his own insecurities of like he didn't know what she would be doing if he wasn't with her just because Savannah is social. So I think it was just his way of controlling her of no, this is what we're going to be doing it and we're going to be doing it together.
Okay.
To add on to like what you just said, like this is so genuinely this is crazy. I feel like this is gonna be Lexi and I bouncing back and forth. Because I remember like Lexi said, we always like had the same job, but we had talked about this like when I was doing the podcast is like he was cheating on me, you know? But then I was the social one in our relationship. And so I was always getting in trouble for like having relationships with guys or like when I talk to people, like I always like touch their arm and it was like, oh, you're flirting with them. But then behind the scenes, like they're cheating on me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was just like a lot of those things. And she was down in E from how long did you live down there?
Like 2.5 years.
Yeah, so 2.5 years. And like this whole time, like me and Vanna are each other's like we grew up constantly with each other. Like if she was doing something, I was doing it with her. So it was hard for me because I went from being with her to 24/7 to her sometimes answering my phone calls, sometimes texting me, sometimes coming down. And if she was coming down, it was 30 minutes and things like that. So it was super difficult for me just from a twins perspective of almost lose like I lost my best friend. Um and just like even the family aspect as well as like our family's super involved with each other. So we like to do things together and it was I think it what birthday was it of ours, Van? I think maybe our 20
23rd.
23rd birthday. I hadn't seen Savannah probably in 2 years, like briefly, like I'd seen her, but like she would never come around. And I remember
That
she's
is
like,
so sad.
oh, trust me, I cried a lot, and I don't cry. Hey, I hate it.
I can see that with you.
But I remember like coming down and she was like, "Hey, like yeah, we can get together for our birthday if you want." I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is so perfect. Like yes, let's get together. Let's get food. Let's get dinner." And my only stipulation was is that Phil didn't come because I was like, I want to enjoy the day with you and like our parents and our siblings, and that's about it. Of course, that obviously didn't happen. Like he had to come along, and I think it was probably 30 minutes into us just hanging out where all of a sudden like her mood flipped up like crazy fast, and I was like, oh my gosh, something's happened. They go outside and it's a full screaming match, and I'm like, what is happening? Like it's our birthday, like there's nothing that should be going on. And she came back inside and she's like, hey, actually, like, we have to go. Like, isn't feeling good. I'm like, and I think I lost my shit on you, didn't I, Vanna?
Yeah, you screamed at me.
I was like, how is it like whenever he's around, there's always a problem? Like, I never see you. Like, this is our day. It's not his day. Stop making it about him. So then I went outside and I started screaming at him and I was like, you are so stupid. Like, you're trying to make this about you and it has nothing to do with you. And I can't even enjoy my time with my sister because you're trying to take her away from me and my family. And then off they go. Like Vanna was like, stop it. Like Vanna's not a confrontational person and I very much am. And so I think I was probably making the situation worse and I don't know because I after they left, I don't know if I made it worse for you or not, Nan.
I'm just sitting here and I'm like, holy hell, that day was just so bad.
Yeah, so and it was just one of those things and I remember going back inside and just crying to my parents and was just like I have no idea who my twin sister is anymore. Like she's not familiar to me. Like she's not the same person I grew up with and she hasn't been the same since she's been in this relationship. So it was a
So,
lot of oh, go
so
ahead.
what were your parents saying in this situation?
Their perspective of everything was pretty much the same as ours is like he's controlling, he's manipulative, he's changing who Vanna is. Like Vanna, she's a bubbly personality and when she was with him, like she was the quiet one. She wouldn't speak, she wouldn't act out, like she wouldn't have an opinion on genuinely anything. She'd be like, "Oh, okay." Like that's fine. So I think it was super hard for my parents to have like to see this massive change in her because they knew the same thing like this wasn't who she was as an actual person. So it was hard on all of us for sure. Um, but my mom and dad did a really good job at just keeping it more to themselves because I think they realized like how difficult it was for me and like trying to be more strong for me and being the parental figure instead of being like, I'm losing a daughter as well.
I was just gonna say that when I like talked about it on my podcast, like I look back and I genuinely was like the biggest bitch. Like I was not nice to you guys. Like I wasn't nice to like people around me that like genuinely were the people I cared about. But then I wasn't like nice to myself either because yeah, like I completely changed who I was. And like even today, like there's some things where like even I'm sure you noticed, Lex, where I'm like trying to work on like getting back to who I am or who I was at like my core. And then sometimes like I just pause for a second and think, oh no, that's not okay. Because in my head it wasn't okay for so long. And like having a relationship with Lexi now or my family, like it's the most bizarre thing. And I always tell myself, I said, nobody will ever come between us anymore. I said, because it's not worth it. Like, ugh, it was so disgusting. It's so appalling to think about, like, genuinely.
Yeah, it was not great. And I think a thing too, like people don't realize, like me and Vanna don't keep secrets from each other. Like we're very open about a lot of things in our life. And I remember like she was lying all the time. I'm like, he's abusing you. He's verbally abusing you. I'm like, stop lying to my face. And she's like, no, like it's not happening. Like you're overthinking it. I'm like, I've seen it in person in small amounts. Like I can only imagine what's getting said, getting done behind closed doors. So that was always like a super hard thing for me was when I knew she was lying to my face, but it was also I think she's lying to herself to try to make the whole situation better, which it obviously never like got better. But I think that was another reason like why we distanced ourselves so much, or like where I had to finally cut ties with her, whereas like I can't continue to put in work or effort when someone's not being truthful, and especially the one person that I thought would always be truthful to me.
So, when you cut ties, did you do that officially or did it just sort of fizzle out naturally? Or like, did you text her or call her and say, like, we're done?
I think we have kind of gone on and off for about 4 years. Like we would kind of just fizzle out, but I think it was right before I went to South Africa with my husband, where I can't remember what happened, but I remember texting her. Oh, I'd kicked her out of my place. That's what it was. Is something had happened, and her and Isaac were on a break, but she was still going over and sleeping over at Isaac's place, but staying over at my place. And I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, if you're gonna be with Isaac, like you just have to go do your own thing, but I'm not going to be the person that you come back to every day when it gets rough, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I had a conversation with my husband and I was just like, I have to pack her stuff up, like cuz she was staying with me and my husband. I said we have to pack her stuff up. I'm going to text her and I'm going to just say like this is your two options, as either you're done with it completely or me and you are done completely.
That
And I
is
remember
so sad. Like,
Oh, listen, it was the worst day of my whole entire life. I'm not even joking you. And she probably, I don't even know, Vanna, from your perspective, I know you were super angry about all of it. But I remember like I was packing her stuff and just bawling the whole entire time. I'm like, I'm a horrible twin sister. Like, I'm supposed to be here for her. And it was just kind of finding my own demons with the whole thing. And I remember her coming to pick up her stuff and like I remember like helping her and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm trying to do what's best for you. Like, I want you to see the bigger picture. Like, this is going to be good for you. And she did not say one word to me, did not look at me, just like walked away. And I was just bawling. Like, I think I cried for probably 2 days.
oh,
And I remember it was like maybe a week before I was gonna go to South Africa, and I just barely gotten onto the plane. I was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna text my sister really quick just to know, like, I love her. I'm thinking about her. Like, I'm here if she needs anything." And you'd sent me a text, but then you deleted it, so I couldn't read it. So I don't know what you said.
Phil sent the text, and I remember, like, honestly, like, I'm getting tears in my eyes, like, reliving all of this. Um, but yeah, Phil sent that text, and I remember it was so nasty. Like, and he did it with mom too, where mom and I were like, I don't know what had happened, but we were disagreeing and it made me upset what mom had said. And then he sent like this nasty text and I like took it back and I just deleted it right after. But yes, like I remember that day so vividly because I was like so torn, like being in that situation because my mom and I talked about this a few days ago. I was always the middle person. Like I wanted a relationship with my family and like behind closed doors I was constantly defending them, constantly saying like no, like this isn't how it is, like this isn't who they are as people. And then like with Lexi, obviously, like she said she was my best friend and it was so hard like disheartening because I didn't want my marriage to end because I was stuck. Like I was stuck in that cycle of like I can make this work. Like this is okay that he's doing X, Y, and Z, like calling me names, like abuse, whatever it is, like it was okay. And so in my head, it was like, she's making me pick over something that I know that I want. Like, obviously, in the moment, like I know I want this, but then somebody who's my eternal best friend. And so I just remember being so angry with you and just being like, yeah, this relationship is like, I'm done with you. But then at the same time, like I was stuck with him and I was like miserable. So I was like miserable in all aspects of my life.
What did
Well, at
he
least
say? What did he say to you when this happened? So, like when you had to pack up your stuff and leave and go to him, what was his reaction to this?
it was just a typical reaction of like, I told you this is exactly who your family is. They don't love you. They don't care about you.
ew,
And
I could
and
punch him in the head.
that was like always, it was the same response every time anything happened with my family. It was, they don't care about you. Like you've always been the black sheep. Like you're like, like they think you're the problem. So it was like he was saying things like in situations like that where in my brain it was like, yeah, like they don't like me. Like Lexi's supposed to be my best friend and here she is like doing this and she doesn't love me. She doesn't care about me. So it was like just the manipulation of the whole entire situation of like living with Lexi trying to work on us at the same time and then like shit hitting the fan and it was like once again I told you so, like just cut them out of your life already. But then he would always say, I'm not trying to take you away from your family, but then the comments were always like, why are you still having a relationship with you? Like you don't even want to be around them because when you are around them, it makes you feel bad.
Yeah,
So like, oh, so gross.
yeah. Lexi, take us to the time when you guys were leaving the restaurant and Phil smacked you.
Oh, what a day that was. Oh, that was such a bad day. Like I remember, and keep in mind, I don't really care how people dress, but for him to make comments that I would dress like a slut for him was just one thing. Like she told me after, I'm like, the audacity for you to have that, to think that I'd give you that attention is just crazy to me in general. But I remember like walking out and I genuinely at first, like when he smacked my ass, I was like, oh, this is some stranger, like just accidentally bumping by or something. So I quickly turned and then when I saw him smirking at me, like it was 0 to 1,000 so quick. And I was just like, what are you doing? And he's just like, oh yeah, I know you like that. And I'm like, first off, don't ever talk to me like that. Second off, like you're disgusting. And I didn't know how to process it in the moment just because it was in public as well and knowing like I was so scared about Vanna's feelings like and how it was going to affect her that I genuinely just shut down and I think she said that when she talked with it last time but I shut down and I remember getting in the car and just bawling my head out. I was just like have I, like and it was like that thing of like what have I done to ever think that this would be okay? What have I done something like making me question my own self to see if I like and just going back through situations to see if I'd ever given him like a hint that I'd be interested in him. And just talking to my parents, and I was just like, I genuinely don't know what to do. Like, this is eating me alive.
So sorry to cut you off here. So did you ever think back, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, to like, because I believe you dated him in high school. Is that right?
So we didn't actually date in high school. Like we were just super good friends, but I never actually dated him.
Okay,
So
okay,
like make out buddies is like the best way to put it.
That's disgusting.
Well, that's what it like the high school term.
Yeah, high school term, yeah.
okay. Were you thinking back to that time?
I didn't even think back to that time. I genuinely, because I, after high school, I didn't talk to him. And I don't know if you know this, but when I was in college and he was on his mission, he was emailing me his whole entire mission. And I was in a relationship with another person. And so I was just not responding back to him, like, would not. And I was just like, what is going on? And I think it was maybe 2 months before he'd gotten home for his mission, he's like, hey, like, I'm really thinking about you. I want to see you when I get back from my mission. And I just responded, I said, I'm in a relationship. Thank you, though. And like, end of conversation. And I guess Savannah said, like, he started messaging her after that. And I don't know if you knew that, Nan. I think
No,
I
I
told you.
didn't.
Oh, I thought you knew that. My bad.
No, I don't
That's
care.
great.
But I was just like one of those things where I was just like, okay, like they've been together, like this shouldn't be a problem. And then having that conversation with Savannah, was so hard because I remember her just being like, I told her and I was like, "Hey, this is what happened. Like, I'm just letting you know. Like, I'm not okay with it. Like, I don't want to keep this from you." And her just being like, "Are you joking?" And I said, "No, I'm not joking. Like, this just genuinely happened." She's like, "Okay, bye." And then just hung up the phone. And I was like,
Oh,
I've been processing this for like 3 days and all I get is, "Okay, bye." And then it was just like the strangest shift, and like I think our relationship really shifted then too. Because she was mad at me and I knew she was mad at me and I couldn't really wrap my head around why she would be upset with me. So it kind of ate me alive more too. It was like maybe she's seen something and hasn't just told me about it or was just questioning everything. So that was a super hard time for me. And I was probably 3 years into their marriage, we had to sit down with him because Savannah wanted to have this come to peace, come to Jesus moment with Phil. And it was me, my mom, my dad, and Phil. And she'd want us to just talk and kind of clear the air to come to like a middle ground of where we were okay with him and he was okay with us. And I remember my dad had brought that up and he's like, "You have never apologized for what you did to my daughter at Texas Roadhouse." And he's like, "She wanted it. Like, there's nothing to apologize for."
he said that to your dad?
Oh, yeah.
What? Oh my God. What did your dad do?
My dad is someone who is very, very good at composing his anger. But I think that was a moment where, like, his whole facial changed, his body changed, and it was like straight defense mode after that. And I was like, "Okay, you can't really do anything." So it was just shut down of like, "Oh my gosh, if I say something, I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
And the whole conversation, I think, Vanna, were you listening? I thought you were listening.
Yeah, I was inside. I opened the window.
I thought you did. But the whole time he was like, "You're a red personality." And I'm like, why are we talking about colors right now? Like, are you joking me? Are you too? And was saying to my mom, like, "You're a red personality, you're dominant, you're aggressive." And my dad's like, "This is who they are, is it? Like, this is their spirit. Who do you think you are to judge their spirit?" And he's just like, "I just can't work with this. Like, they're just negative people." And I think he brought up like my parents giving him Christmas gifts, and he's like, "You guys just feel bad for me." And my mom was like, "We don't feel bad for you at all. Like, yeah, sorry about you, how you grew up, but you've had every opportunity to have a better life and you've chosen not to." And it was just like this whole conversation that probably lasted 2.5 hours, I would say, maybe 2 hours. And we literally got nowhere. And I remember just looking at him and he was smirking the whole entire time. And I was so angry. And I kept making comments at him of like, "Yeah, well, my sister tells me this and you don't know it and she lies to your face," just to kind of have a go at him. Could be like, "Yeah, you're not the shit. I hate to break it to you." And I remember afterwards, Savannah was like, "You shouldn't have said that." Like, he didn't know. And I was like, "I genuinely do not care at this moment in time. Like, you're the one who wanted to have this conversation. Like, I'm gonna just rip it off the band-aid and say, like, yeah, sucks to suck. You genuinely know nothing about my sister."
Well, I remember in that moment, like I was sitting inside and I was just sitting there and I was shaking so bad because in my head I already knew that like one, I was gonna get ripped a new one by him. And I was like, oh, I was so sick because like I said, like being in an abusive relationship, like that sucks. And I remember after that, I was so, so scared because I was like, first and foremost, like that did not go as planned. Second off, like he scares the shit out of me and I was like sitting inside shaking and then I remember just sitting there and I'm like, "Lexi, just shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Please stop. Please stop." Because my parents like literally told me, they said, "Yeah, you can't be a part of this conversation." And I wanted to be a part of it because I'm always like the mediator, like I'm the middle person. Like like try to see both sides and my mom was like, "Yeah, no. This isn't happening." So I just sat inside and I was so scared. But yeah, I was just like in my head, I'm like, "Lexi, stop talking, please." Like I'm like, "You're digging myself a grave right now. Like this is confidential between you and I, and now it's not."
And I think that was too like my moment of having like a go at Savannah and trying to in my own head help her out of like, you don't need to keep these things, like these are actual problems that we've all witnessed. Like, it's not just me. It was my parents, it was my siblings, it was outside people as well. And I remember them leaving, and my parents were like, nothing's changed. Like, we'll probably never see her again, anyways. And it was just the end of the conversation. It was, we weren't going to discuss it. We weren't going to talk about it anymore because all our emotions were so high that I don't think we knew how to process it other than just being like, yeah, we're done. Like, this can't go on any further. And I think it was, what?
Sorry. I wanted you to, like, switching topics. I wanted you to talk a little bit about your perspective from, like, the cops end. I think you know which story I'm talking about.
Yeah. Um, oh, this is super sad for me. I don't know if I want to talk about this. I don't think I'm over it yet. Um, but so the cops have been called on Vanna and Phil like two or three times, I think it was. And she just barely moved into this new place. And I don't know what had happened. I was at work or something, and I remember getting a call from her, and I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. And I answered it, and I was like, hey, like, what's up? And she was just sobbing, and I was like, oh my gosh. And like, it was like one of those things where I was like, oh my gosh, he's done something to her again. So I was getting in my car, and I was like, where are you at? Like, I'm coming, I'm on my way. And she was just sobbing, sobbing, kind of told me what happened. And I said, okay, these are your two options. Either you call the cops or I'm going to call the cops. And she's like, no, I don't want the cops involved. And I said, like I said, these are your two options. You call or I call. And she's like, okay, I'll call. And so when I'd gotten there, she was just sitting outside and I was like, call the cops. Like, I'm waiting. Like, I'm not joking. So she called the cops and the cops came and we talked to him and like, keep in mind, like, Morgan cops, they're either a hit or a miss. Like, you just really never know what you're gonna get. And I think I was so grateful because the two cops that came were so kind. Like, so kind to Vanna, so kind to me and my mom. Like, I called my mom and she came over as well. And it was the craziest thing ever. As soon as were like, yeah, his name's Phil. This is what's going on. And the one cop, he was like, you need to stay away from him. And me and my mom were like, what the heck? Like, what do you know about him? And he's like, he is not a good kid. And we were like, what? And he is like, yeah, we've had issues, like we've heard things, like things have happened with him. Like, he is not a good kid. Like, you need, like, she needs to be done. Like, this is not gonna work in her favor. Like, there's just too many things that have happened. And we were like, okay, this is so crazy. And so I think you called or something. We said, okay, like, this is like, he needs to come pick up his stuff, whatever. And so that he didn't show up, and we were driving back to my parents'
Well,
house.
I'm gonna pause you really quick because I'll tell you. Um, he went, so we were living separately, like we were done with each other, and he was like getting ready to like go out to sales and everything. And I thought we were like on good basis. I don't know. Um, like we were just in a weird spot. But then I was like, "Okay, like you need to leave. Like I can't do this. Like you need to leave immediately." And he had nowhere to go because his lease had ended. So he went to U-Haul to pick up a U-Haul trailer and he was just going to take all of his stuff to the DI. So he was gone by the time the cops got there. And then like Lexi said, then now you can say she started driving.
Oh yeah, so we were started driving and I see this U-Haul and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like how crazy would this be if this is Phil?" And he knows what I drive, and so when I was driving by, I started to slow down and looks at me and flips me off. I'm like,
That's
"What the?"
psycho. Oh my
I was
goodness.
oh, trust. So I flipped my car around so quick, call the cops. I'm like, hey, he's going to this place. Like, please make sure the officers are there. Like, I don't want anything crazy to happen, but I'm just letting you know I'm following
Knowing
him.
Lexi, she would go throw hands.
Oh, I was like, I'm just letting you know, like, I'm following him and I will get out of my car. And they were obviously the officers are like, no, like, don't do anything, blah, blah, blah. So he pulls up, reverses in, thank the Pope, the cops are still there. So I get out and I'm like, hey, this is Phil. Like, just so you know. And they're like, okay, like, yeah, we got this handled. And they're like, just stay back. And I said, okay, well, I'm just letting you know I'm not getting in my car. And they're like, that's totally fine. As soon as the cops start walking over, he looks at me and starts smiling and waving at me. I'm like, you just flipped me off not even a minute ago, and now you're smiling and waving at me, acting like we're best friends when there's an audience around, which he was very good at doing. Of when there's other people around, he is he's laughing, he wants to be part of the group, he's super friendly, and then behind closed doors it's like, nope, you like horrible person. Oh, it was so crazy. And I remember standing on the corner the whole entire time and I'm like, okay, you're a narcissist. Like I know how you work. Like I'm not gonna give you the attention. I'm not gonna give the time of the day. And like I know with him, like I my personality and just me in general pisses him off. And so I was living my best moment. I'm like, me just being here is like driving you insane. And like I'm chatting with the cop, like just being super friendly, super bubbly with him, just knowing it was gonna piss him off. And he finally gets all of his stuff and drives off, and the cop's like, yeah, like hopefully this is done. Like he said he's gonna take the divorce papers and go turn them in, but he also said he doesn't have the money. I said, of course he doesn't have the money. He doesn't even have a job. Like my sister's paid for everything. Like I'm not shocked he doesn't have $300 to his name. So the cops were like, yeah, like just have your dad message him and just say, hey, like I'll come pick up the divorce papers. We can meet at the police station and I'll pay for everything so we can just be done with this process. Uh,
Well, in that time frame, you forgot like when he was leaving, like the cops, like you know how you have to fill out like a police report. So like I filled out like my report and everything. They went to give it to Phil, and he was like so disrespectful towards the cops. Like I was like I would be scared if I disrespected cops. Like that's crazy. And I remember him just like getting in the van, like the U-Haul, and then rolling down his window, and they like went to talk to him, and then he like rolled it up and left. And then they like came back and they were like, yeah, like this dick, like seriously.
Closing wise, I think for Vanna's perspective, I think she's an amazing person. Obviously, I prayed every night that she would able to get out of this toxic, abusive situation, and she finally did. I'm a firm believer in karma, and I know karma is gonna come his way. And I wish I would tell him best of luck, but I really hope he doesn't have the best of luck and that he gets what he deserves.
Yeah. And it from my perspective as well, it's like of course from since I didn't know you guys super well during this, other than like on social media, like I had no clue this was going on until Savannah told me what was going on the episode, of course, but it seems like you guys have reconciled now, right?
Yeah, we're definitely in a good like spot now.
We're
And
like at the point where it's like if we don't call each other at least 5 times a day, then something's wrong.
right.
Yeah, like what a 180 to do. Like a 180 and then back to another 180.
Yeah, and it's
For
and it's
people.
definitely good. We've both grown and I think we had to grow by ourselves to be able to appreciate us together and as individuals.
Yeah. I think I had to go through shit and realize like who's the important people in my life, and then also realize like what I don't want in a husband at all. Like and just
Yeah.
seeing like the flags.
And to listen to me when I give you my opinions on people.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, because like, didn't you tell her I was gay or something?
Yes.
Right from the beginning.
Like that is trust. She said, I don't think so. And I said, trust.
See,
I
Savannah,
have
you should have paid attention from middle
I know,
school
seriously, I was
on.
told at a young age. Jeez, here I am.
That's funny. Okay, guys, well, it's a little of an abrupt ending to the story, but I think everyone gets the picture. Of course, we're happy that you have escaped this situation, Savannah, and it seems like you're like in your process of healing from it, which is great. For the listeners, as always, make sure that you subscribe and save. We're streaming anywhere you can get your podcasts, and make sure you rate us as well because that helps us in the algorithms. And then follow us on social media. It's Romance Unraveled on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you have a lovely story that you would like to share, you can reach out to me directly on one of those platforms, and I will get you scheduled to come onto the show. Until next time.